Oh boy, hello everybody. How you doing? I am Dr. Alicia. Welcome everybody. Y'all ready for the new year
Yeah.
2025? Oh my God, I want to welcome you. It's Mental Health Monday, and I am Dr. Alicia with Coaching with Dr. Alicia. There's my website. You follow me on Instagram at Coaching with Dr. Alicia. This week, yay, we got a great panel this week. We're delving into the topic I think is very timely and it's essential that we go into the new year with a wonderful mindset here. And so we want to know how we leave our undesirable habits behind. We want to make sure we take this opportunity for a new year to be healthier and more resilient and more resilient version of ourselves. And joining me in this conversation are two incredible mental health experts. It's Miss Fanny Tristan. Say hello, Miss Fanny.
Hi, nice to be here.
Yes. And then also joining me is Miss Denise Moore. Say hello.
Hey everyone. Hello.
Yeah. And you guys, you got three licensed Black female therapists who've been holding it down for a long time. What a treat. Show me another page that does this. What YouTube page does this? Nobody but us. So we're going to have class today. We're going to talk about how we can take control of our mental health, how we can better manage stress in the new year, how we can focus on our personal growth in the new year so that we can unlock our full potential. And I think that it's possible. It is possible to have lasting change together. Hey, I want to say hello to Rhonda. Hey, Rhonda, how you doing? It's some regulars in here. Arkisha, how you doing? Tell me where you're coming from. Tell me what city or state you're from. Maya, I saw you in here. You were in here early. You were ready, all suited up. Erickson, coach. Hey, Erickson, I remember you from yesterday. You were in with me last night. And so just put in the city you're from. Rebecca from California. Hey, okay. And oh, we got LA in the house. We got California. Alicia from California. Okay, we got the West Coast going on. I just got back from my own spiritual retreat in California. I was meditating the whole weekend in California. So this is excellent. Shantae from California. Good grief. We got a lot of California girls in here. Tracy from St. Louis. Michelle from Denver, Virginia Beach. We have spanned all across the country. That's awesome. So, oh my goodness. So we're going to talk about dealing with your stuff for the new year. This is a perfect opportunity for us to, I don't know. I'm curious what my two panelists here think about setting New Year's resolutions. Some say it's not such a great thing. Some say that it is, but 80% of New Year's resolutions fail. So it's really called like an epic fail. It's called quitter's resolution instead of really having a New Year's resolution. But let's just start there. What do you guys think as therapists? And maybe we'll start with you, Fanny. You know, when we meet with clients, one of the first things we do is we say, after we make an assessment, we come up with goals, tangible goals for us to reach in therapy. But how is this? This is good for therapy, but is this necessarily good for setting New Year's resolutions? What are your thoughts on that?
That's a good question because I've been thinking about this a lot lately. And I used to kind of be a hater about New Year's resolutions where I'm like, why does it have to be a certain time? Every day is a new day, right? But then after a while, I've been doing a lot of work with communities and really appreciating the value of community this year. And I kind of think that New Year's resolutions are kind of community at work when you think about it, because here we are as a community, right? Nationally, globally, all choosing to set an intention to do better, to be better, all at the same time in this collective effort. Even if the goals are different for all of us, in a way, it's kind of the ultimate buddy system, right? And so when I think about that compared to a lot of the goals that we have, like a one-on-one or talking about goals with clients and how to get through all the roadblocks, right? We talk about the buddy system, right? Well, who's going to go with you to the gym? Who's going to is a book club better than just reading on your own if you're trying to read more, right? Like the idea of community and accountability can sometimes be really closely knit together. And I don't know. I feel like I'm turning around on the whole idea of the New Year's resolution being a not so good thing, because what if we tap into it as a community effort that actually helps us with our momentum just to get started, right? And then it's really up to us moving forward to maintain that, right? So it's kind of both ways. It starts off with community, but it also can really follow through for the individual.
I will tell you, I cannot agree with you more, Fanny. Even for myself, I know I always want to be healthier in the new year, but I'm never going to do it. I have on my own. I have to sign up for a race, or I'll just sit on the couch and not do it. I really need, I can pay $20 for a 5K. It's not the $20 my husband's talking to me about. You could just run 3 miles anytime. No, I have to sign up for it because there has to be a little ribbon I get at the end. There has to be a t-shirt, and there has to be community because I joined the run club. And if I don't show up, people are going to be texting me saying, where are you? I need that accountability, or I just psychologically can't necessarily do it on my own. I love this community. Not only that you can be inspired, but you can inspire other people, and people are looking for you, holding you accountable, and you've already agreed because you've given someone permission. So there's no shame in that. There's no shame. It's a bunch of people with the same goal. So I love that. I want to talk about shame a little bit more, but before I do, Miss Denise, tell us, what do you think? Where are you with New Year's resolutions and using that as an opportunity to deal with your stuff?
Yes, I just want to piggyback on what Miss Fanny said, and I love that you said it's the ultimate buddy system. So every year, me and my colleagues, we get together and we create our vision board, our vision plan for 2025. And with that, we do hold one another accountable, and we do it in community. We know that if we're healing in community, and we allow our community to hold us accountable, we should. I mean, take away should. It is wise and very much helpful and healthy to allow people to hold us accountable for what we say we're going to do. And that is the only way that we're able to move forward with the goals that we set for ourselves for the following year.
You know, that vision board is another thing that I also use with my family. We take a picture of ourselves, we put it in the middle of a poster board, and then we play some music, and we'll cut out things in magazines, and we will actually put our vision boards together. That's something that we do as a community, as a family, for sure. And do your vision board. It's so nice to grab them from each year as an opportunity to say, it doesn't even have to be concrete. It could just be things that you can have to subconsciously program yourself to remind yourself to stay focused, even in mid-January when all of us kind of like forget about what our New Year's resolutions were. Having that vision board is so beautiful. What were you going to say?
I also have a life board. So I have a life board. It's a trifold, and it's things that I would like to do with my life. And so what I created last year, so what I started doing is taking something from my vision board and putting it onto the life board.
Oh, can I just say, I don't know if people understand, but I have gotten into feng shui, and everything that I have in my office has a deep meaning. You all can look at my office, you don't know, but every plant, every symbol that I have in my office is totally connected to a goal that I have for myself. And I do take the new year to sit and think about and edit and say, okay, what is it that I would like to have for myself? Because it's not always the same. Sometimes I just achieve goals. So I'm always rearranging my office space to reflect the goals that I have. And it helps to remind me subconsciously about what to do. I have a feng shui spot for this goal. I have another feng shui spot for that goal. By the way, feng shui is all about chi energy. It's about creating heaven on earth for myself, whatever that is for you. And it's a beautiful way to take parts of me in that I want to draw out of myself into the world is a reminder. My whole office is a reminder of all the goals and New Year's resolutions that I have for myself. So y'all, everybody, how y'all doing? Hey, Rhonda. Hey, Denise. We got Denise and Dennis. How you doing, Leah? Yeah, look at Leah's comment. Yeah. I hope this is helpful related to job stuff. I've really been struggling to find a job with benefits. Yes, she's got that goal. You could do some subconscious things there. Of course, some deliberate actions that you should take. Community, what a wonderful place. Community to help you achieve some of your goals. But I love what we're saying. Okay, so let me just tell y'all, Fanny has talked about community, having a buddy system, accountability, somebody that's like, hey, you said you were going to exercise. We're supposed to meet up at the gym. Let's meet up together. And not only is your physical health improving, but your mental health is improving too, because you got somebody to talk to. It's always nice to be connected. Secondly, we got Miss Denise talking about vision board and having a life board. She probably got boards all over. These are two winners who know what to do. And of course, for me, I use feng shui all the time. I know feng shui is really, if you look at the root of feng shui, it's African science, okay? The root of it. And it is Asian, but African too. So I make sure that everything in my life is a representation of everything that I want to have, that I have set an intention on doing. So setting intentions is so important. Oh my God, do either one of you guys or anybody who's joining us today have a question? Listen, y'all got 3 therapists here talking about how you can deal with your stuff in 2025, and you don't have to pay for a therapy session. So you guys have questions, make sure you put it in the chat, seize the opportunity. Everybody loving you, Denise. They're like, hey, Denise, hey. How you doing?
Hey, everybody, hey. The supporters, the accountability partners.
Yes. Accountability partner, yes. They cheering everybody, clapping everybody up. So anything that you want to add to that before I move on to, I want to talk about shame, but move on. What do you have to say? Hey, Dr. Vibe, how you doing? Yes, I'm sorry. I got to say hello to Dr. Vibe. He is always true. A lady who leads a group of 12,000 Black entrepreneurs asked me to be her accountability partner. What? Awesome. Let me tell you, Dr. Vibe, y'all, Dr. Vibe, you reach out to these ladies and put them on your show because they are remarkable, by the way. So anyway, anybody want to share anything about the New Year's resolutions, any other strategies before I talk about shame?
One strategy that I really love is have action steps for each goal. So many times individuals go into the new year making resolutions 25, I'm exaggerating. Sometimes it may be 25. The reality is, take a few of those 1 to 5 and see which ones you're able to begin in 2025. Don't have the mindset of, I have to complete everything. Which one will you start on? And what are your action steps? If you have the goal to eliminate weight, because whatever we lose, I'm not trying to find the weight, to eliminate the weight. My number one goal is to let my accountability partners know, join the gym, get a schedule, change up what I'm eating, et cetera, et cetera. Go to the doctor, make sure it's not anything medical. So when you have a goal, just make sure that you give yourself some action steps behind that.
I like that. So Denise is talking about everybody, not just having this big goal, I'm going to be healthy. Say specifically, I'd like to lose weight. Maybe I'd like to lose 20 pounds. And I love the fact about going to the doctor to get a whole checkup, because the doctor will tell you, doctors are really nice, but unless you ask them, they'll be like, yeah, you could lose some weight. Like they want to see everything nicely. And so it's breaking down your resolution of just losing weight into clear, measurable steps instead of it being vague, like I just want to get healthy. You got to aim for, I'm exercising 3 times a week at 6 a.m. and that's my schedule. It's making sure that you have a plan that's realistic. That is really great. So anything from you, Fanny, about New Year's resolutions and how we can make this more realistic.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with Denise. And just to add to that is, I don't think people recognize how much they ask of themselves,
Oh,
right? When we sit down and set up these goals, it may sound simple to us because it's coming from a place where, speaking of shame, right? I know we're probably going to dive a little more into that, but this
Mhm.
idea of you're putting pressure on yourself to get something done because in the back of your head,
Mhm.
you've already beaten yourself up about the fact that you haven't done it. Because likely it was the goal the year before too,
Right.
right? And so oftentimes we just make that choice of like, now you just got to do it and I'm going to beat myself up to do it. But in reality, we're not recognizing that, you need to have specific elements all working together in order for you to achieve that goal, right? And it's those things that aren't ironed out, like these action steps that you were mentioning, right? When you don't iron those things out and actually look at those action steps as goals within themselves, then we end up overwhelmed, we end up paralyzed, we then don't do it one day, then we lose hope,
Yep.
and then the whole emotional
That's it.
spiral
Yep.
that just makes you lose all motivation. And then that's why people end up quitting, right? Because they're not actually investing in really being honest with themselves about what they're asking of themselves, right? If with, for example, like a weight loss goal, right? There are so many ways in which you can lose weight. There are so many reasons as to why people lose weight, right? Are you really interrogating why you're doing it, right? Because that why is going to indicate how you go about it, what resources you need, right? All of those things that are actually going to set you up for success.
oh my
Yep.
gosh, you're talked about being
Everything.
paralyzed. And I think that's what happens to so
Mhm.
many of us. We set these big lofty goals. I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that.
Mhm.
And then 3 weeks into January, you realize that you're quitting. And instead of, it's what you tell yourself. You're like, I'm a quitter, and just forget about the whole thing and then just go back to your normal habits. And it's funny because when I do my retreats and I do my spiritual retreats, the shaman, because I sit with Native American, the Lakota Indians, I sit with them, and at the end he's like, are you going to integrate everything that you've learned this weekend into your life every single day? That's what the shaman is saying. Or are you going to go back to your old ways? And he challenges us. And even they are starting to do more integration of goals that we all have for ourselves, enlightenments, because it's a very
Mhm.
enlightening experience that you have. You're lifting. I mean, I'm a therapist. I see clients, so twice a year I have to go and unload all of the things that I absorb. And so you do have that choice to like try to stay on top of it. And I've noticed a lot of shame there, not setting your New Year's resolutions or goal, dealing with your stuff, but not feeling embarrassed or ashamed by that. It seemed like looking at it where you're thinking, I'm flawed and I need to fix this
Mhm.
part of myself. And the fact that I know that these things need to change, these habits need to get better, and I haven't been able to do it for several years. What's the point of it? I get overwhelmed. And I do work with a lot of clients about shame. And what do you guys have to say for everybody here about what to do when you start to feel like there's something wrong with me? I need to fix it. I'm going to deal. How do you tell people to deal with their stuff in a way that's empowering instead of dealing with their issues in the way where they feel like there's something wrong with me? And Denise, we'll start with you with this question about
Oh,
fixing yourself and not
yes.
feeling bad about it.
Yes. So a lot of times we will look at it as what's wrong with us instead of something that happened to us. And so knowing that shame is, I'm not going to say it's an emotion. I would say is maybe it's a behavior or a thought that we have about ourselves, something that we feel guilty about, or other people may have allowed us to feel guilty about for putting us down when we're younger and, coming up. So the shame comes when we're really sad about something that we're not able to achieve. Like Miss Fanny said, it may be a goal that we have that's out of our reach. But instead of getting back up and being motivated about it and determined with that discipline to complete it, we just put ourselves in that guilt state, and then we're just freezing right then and there.
Excellent. Excellent. Yeah, giving ourselves that guilt state. Yes. Fanny, do you have anything to say to or add to what Denise has said with the shame?
Yeah, I mean, I think that when I speak to clients a lot about their shame, I think it connects a lot to uh, perfectionism, right? Like the expectations they have of themselves, right? I see this a lot with my clients who've gone through breakups, right? With the woulda, coulda, shouldas, right? All of that
Right.
kind of outcome-based reasoning about, you know, themselves, like, oh, I should have known. I should have known they were going to cheat on me. I should have known it wasn't going to work out. I should have known, you know, they weren't the right fit. And it's like, should you have? Or can you tell the future? Like, you made the best decision that you could with the information that you had, but there's this expectation that you have of yourself to be perfect, to always make the right decisions, that you should be someone capable of always making the right decision all of the time. And just seeing yourself in this black and white way, so that when you make a mistake, it's all bad. Now you just have bad judgment. Now you can't trust anybody. Now you can't trust your own judgment, right? And then that's how people will really get stuck in their single era, because they don't know how to trust anymore, right? And it all comes from the way that they've judged themselves about the way that things have turned out for them, without recognizing that there's a lot of reasons why things have turned out the way they have, right? It takes more than one person to be in a relationship.
Yeah, it's almost like the 4 agreements when they're just like, don't take it personal. It's
At
not
all.
necessary. Like, if someone mistreats you and you know you didn't do anything to deserve that, that's not on you. You can set boundaries around it, but don't walk away saying, I should have done something about it. I should have known. Okay, maybe you're working on being clairvoyant, but you can't tell. You never know what someone's thinking. You can't live your life worried and stressed about what someone else is doing when they're not around you. And I think what I love what Denise and Fanny, what both of you are talking about, is this self-compassion that involves treating yourself with the same kindness and understanding that you would offer a friend, you know, acknowledging that it's not realistic to be perfect. Like, you're human, and to be patient, especially in your own growth process, because if someone mistreats you, you can always look back on it and say, what did I miss? You know, how can I learn from this situation so that I don't have to repeat this? And I think positive affirmations is really helpful. Getting yourself rest, being good to yourself. Like, self-care is self-love, you know, avoiding harsh criticism about yourself, and just being realistic. So thank you for that. We do have a question from the chat. Hey, all y'all joining us, how you doing? We're talking about how you deal with your stuff in 2025. This is the time to do it. It's no time but today. Take this as an opportunity at the end of the year, going into 2025. Take this as an opportunity to think about how you can be a better person, things that you can do for yourself. We do have a question. Let's see the question. L. Alexander, thank you for your question. Alexander is saying, how do you break the negative connotation of seeing a therapist in our community? We got to tackle that question. I've been trying to encourage it as a family effort, but it's being viewed as people being in your business. Woo, we got to tackle that question, because there's 3 therapists here, and we know this is time. This is time for us to address this topic, because it's true. Now, I will say, there's some legitimate reasons why a lot of people and a lot of families don't want to disclose all of their stuff to a stranger. You know, it's seen as, culturally, could be seen as you're bad mouthing the people who gave birth to you, or, you know, seen as disloyal. So these are some real issues. Who wants to tackle that? We'll go to you, Fanny, this time. What do you say? What's your response to this?
Yeah, I mean, how much time do we have? I mean, I think there's so many things that that go along with it. I think one thing that I can talk about is the idea of this is also avoidance,
Ah,
right?
Okay.
Like it's very convenient to believe that talking to someone that is a stranger, that it can feel difficult, but it's very convenient to have that excuse of, well, I don't know them, they don't need to know my business. So now you can kind of continue functioning the way that you are, even if it's dysfunctional, even if your loved one's saying that it's harmful, even if it might not be healthy. I think we need to interrogate, well, why don't you want people in your business? Because we're not talking to your neighbor that, is eavesdropping and trying to say things about your family. We're talking about talking to a mental health professional who's bound by ethics, who by law can lose their license if they speak out, and talk your business, right? Like we are beholden to be accountable to our clients, just the way you have patient doctor privilege, right? Where you go to your doctor and have all sorts of medical concerns, and you could know your doctor for a long time because they've been, building this relationship with you. Why would mental health be any different? People go to therapy and they have relationships with their therapist for a long time, right? Because they are people that are able to tell them and mirror things to themselves about what's going on within them. And are we not valuing that kind of psychological health as much as we do with our physical health? Because we're okay going to a stranger, to a surgeon to cut us open and fix something, right? But we won't sit down in front of someone and have a conversation about why things are the way they are.
that is so great. It's like if my tooth is hurting, I'm not going to go to the podiatrist. I'm going to go to the
No.
dentist to fix my tooth. If you're under a whole
Absolutely.
lot of stress, or if you know that there's things happening in your life that you are worried about and ruminating on and is causing distress, go to the person that is designated. And y'all don't know, being a therapist, it's a lot of training. It's a lot of CEUs. We just don't get our license and go to school. We have to get graduate degrees. We have hours and hours of training and study on human behavior. We're experts in relationships and human behavior and problem solving. It is so nice, to have a professional to talk to alleviate your toothache, your mental ache, and all these things. It's so easy. And I'm gonna tell you something, we a lot cheaper than the dentist. Just letting y'all know. We are a lot cheaper. And we definitely a lot cheaper than going to the divorce court. So work on your marriage. You can pay a therapist, is a lot cheaper and a lot more time that you don't have to waste by going and fixing things in your family instead of having families break up. Okay, Miss Denise, do you have something you want to add to what we're talking about?
Absolutely. I want to agree and with Miss Fanny and you, Dr. Alicia. It is a type of avoidance that is there. And the only way to dismantle that is to show up. If you are in therapy and you're comfortable with sharing with your family about the benefits and the healing and the growth and the changes that you have been making, then do it. And if it's not verbally that they don't want to listen to, just show it in your behaviors and your actions. And as I tell individuals who speak to me about therapy, we're Black now as well. So you can find the type of therapist that you're looking for. And so that's our goal. Like I love helping the global majority heal from that and breaking down those stigmas. We have YouTube, we have Facebook, we have TikTok. Everyone loves TikTok. There's so many skits about therapy and clients on TikTok. Go ahead and send that to them. I mean, the benefits that our race and culture receives from the healing from therapy is just unprecedented.
Yes, be sure to have licensed therapists on TikTok because you got TikTok. Yeah. TikTok taught me, can teach you a whole lot of stuff. I learned a lot on TikTok. Just I could be on there and doom scroll all day long. It's a beautiful platform, but you just be careful, but at the same time, there's a lot of therapists who are now starting to put information out there on TikTok, and it's a beautiful way to raise your awareness. And I just want to welcome everybody for coming in. Look at all the people here. How you doing? To get information about when I talk on Monday nights. Text the word love, LOVE, to 87948. You get a special invitation to join us. We get to come in here every Monday. You're going to have licensed therapists, and you can ask all your questions. If you don't want to go see a therapist and you have, well, this is not therapy, by the way. This video is not therapy, but it can help to teach you and to raise awareness about things that we see that we can impart upon you guys. But as we prepare for the new year, what is one piece of advice you'd give for someone who does recognize that they're struggling to take the first step toward personal growth? They're struggling to deal with their stuff. Miss Denise, we'll start with you.
Hey.
What is it that you think that we should do?
So I always tell my clients two things. The first one is give yourself permission. Give yourself permission to take that first step into that new goal that you want to do, that new individual that you want to be, the growth and the transformation that you want to see, and that empowerment. And also forgive yourself. People are stuck on that self-forgiveness. I love teaching on self-forgiveness. People are stuck on that because they don't believe they deserve it. So if you're freezing, like Ms. Fanny said earlier, and you're avoiding, you're gonna be in that same spot. But forgive yourself and give yourself that permission to go ahead and move forward because you deserve it. You know it's going to happen if you stay the same. Sometimes it's so much easier to stay the same. It's challenging to take that first step. That's how you get to the place you want to be. If you truly want to get there, give yourself that forgiveness, give yourself that permission to go ahead and move forward and take that first step.
Yeah, I really love this because this is an exciting time of the year, but sometimes it's not exciting for everybody. The holidays and the new year brings up memories because you're not so entrenched in work. A lot of people take off and you're left with your thoughts and ain't no burying yourself in your work. Usually at this time, people are sent, and instead of spending this time ruminating on things that you can't change and being resentful and all of this, I love what you're saying, Miss Denise. You're saying, look, forgive yourself and use this as an opportunity for growth. Give yourself permission to say, yes, there were some hits and misses in 2024, but you know what? I'm going to take this opportunity, the misses I'm going to learn from, and then all of the things that I've done great, I'm going to give myself permission to continue on and to carry it forward into the new year as a new person. So I really enjoy that, Denise. That's a great reminder for all of us not to we can make the choice. We can make the choice to be happy and satisfied with our life, no matter what challenges. Excellent. Okay, Fanny, let's go on to you. What would you say?
I agree. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, I'm just saying, I'm struggling. How do I take this first step? Go ahead, Miss Fanny.
Yeah, I agree with everything Denise was saying. And also to add to that, we have to be humble enough to recognize that the world is always bigger than we think it is.
Oh, yeah.
Right? I think that when we limit ourselves to the world that we think we know how everything works, and we think that we already know everything, then it's very hard to see what your options are. And you always have options, right? Even if the option is the choice to try something else. Right? And so, and this is why I love, doing retreats and events, because, when people get together and they see people from different walks of life, even if it is all Black women or brown women, we're coming from different walks of life. We have different opinions, different experiences. And unless you're talking to people, you have no idea how people live, the kind of resources they have. And this is why retreats are wonderful, right? Because you get to travel and see how people live around the world, and it inspires, right? And so giving yourself permission to also dream, envision, right? If you can envision the kind of life that you want, the kind of wealth that you want, the kind of luxury you want, however that's defined for you, then it's something that can feel a little bit more tangible than it just being, this is the way my life is. It's never going to change. I don't expect any more of myself. If that's what you believe, then no, you won't get the motivation that you need to make anything different. But if you do give yourself permission to dream, right? You give yourself permission to forgive yourself, right? And know that there is more to the world than you know, then there's a lot of curiosity to be had, and there's a lot of discovery to be had.
No, I mean, I really liked it. I remember when I was in graduate school, there was this whole, I went to University of Chicago, and there's this whole two camps. There's actually a couple of camps. One camp is behavioral, and the other camp is cognitive. So it's like, what are your thoughts telling you? And we should change those thoughts. But another one was, okay, what are doing? And if you do certain things, it will change your thoughts. So it was just a big debate going on. And it was funny because what the research shows is that really, even if you think it's going to be a disaster, if you give yourself permission to do it, and then you start getting the ball rolling, it's actually the behavior that pushes the thoughts. It's behavior first, and then your thoughts kind of lag behind a little bit. So one of the wonderful ways to change things in your life is to just dive right in and go for it. And next thing you know, you'll be like, oh, that wasn't really as bad as I thought it was. I dived in and I just did it. So that was sort of like the the ongoing debate at my university, at least, and I like this about where do people start? And I think sometimes the people close to you, they can see a lot of your blind spots too. So it may be nice to ask your spouse, or maybe your parent, or maybe your child, hey, what is it about me that you feel like I need to work on? And really digesting what people say, because that could be a lot of ways in which you can kind of dictate or try to think about and incorporate some honest feedback into how you been, naughty or nice, and what ways you could be somewhat better. Asking some people in here. I threw up here Jen's, thank you ladies. I threw up here Jen's comment about growth mindset. And that is so brilliant, because we've been kind of talking about growth mindset. And I'm just curious, I'll go back to you, Miss Fanny. From your experience, what are some barriers? We're going to have barriers, that you see that prevent people from embracing change or growth mindset, especially when you're setting goals. What are some barriers that you found that are typically happening when people are trying to change? Because I know from systems theory, you change one piece of that system, everybody else is like, hey, what's going on? What are you doing? You're changing your positionality. So what do you do when you talk to people about all of the barriers along the way?
Yeah. I mean, I think that you need to know yourself. And what I mean by that is you need to play to your own strengths, right? Like, for example, if you want to start exercising more, if you want to start running more, right? If you're not a morning person, then don't try to run in the morning. Right? I don't care how beautiful that Nike commercial was of someone running across the Brooklyn Bridge in the sunrise. I'm sure it's beautiful. I'm sure it's inspiring. But if that's not you, if you're not already up at 5 a.m., then that's not you, right? It took me so long for many years, kind of going through my own journey with my body and weight loss and things like that, to realize, girl, you can work out on the weekends. The weight that took off of me and how it clicked, right? For years, I'm like the after work gym person. I got to go to the gym right after work, because if I step foot in my house, I'm not leaving, right? Or that I went through the era of let me wake up early in the morning, but that just made me wake up, snooze, and then start my day already feeling like a failure because I didn't actually get out of bed and do the thing I wanted to do. But I was never a morning person. And I was a really high performing, I was working in an ER. I was tired when I got home from work. I didn't want to do it after work either. And then I would start taking a fitness class on the weekend, like a dance fitness class, because I like to dance. And then I've been taking that for years, right? And it's like I had to find what worked for me, because the right fitness plan for me was the one that I was going to stick to the most. So it actually had to be something that I liked, that worked for my lifestyle. So that meant Saturday morning dance class because I love to dance and it's fun. And I'm more motivated to do that than get up at 5 a.m. and run 3 miles.
No, that is so interesting. I'm thinking about my life and exercising. When I was married and I had no kids, I was exercising any time of the day, in the evening, in the morning. I could do whatever I wanted. But then once I started having children, I couldn't exercise in the evening. I had to only exercise in the morning. And then now that my youngest is in high school, now my kids, I can exercise anytime I want now. I can exercise in the afternoon, in the morning. Like sometimes my lifestyle just wasn't syncing up with the fact that I had to be responsible for little people, that I couldn't leave home alone. I couldn't leave home alone because sometimes I was alone. I wasn't a single mom, but I was alone with them a lot of times. So you do have to adjust based on your lifestyle and then think it through, and educate your family. Your family system should be supportive to you. If you tell people, hey, I want to start working out, you'll be surprised how some people can gather around and help you achieve your goals too. But even if you don't, still know that self. Y'all, Miss Wanda and brought a question in here about where are your retreats typically? Okay, someone asked about retreats. I have let me see what y'all think. Would y'all go come to a retreat? If the three of us were doing a retreat, not to say that we're doing it, would y'all come? Let me know, yes or no, in the chat. And if we were, what kind of retreat? Would you come to a wellness retreat? Would you, if we got together and said a wellness retreat in the Dominican Republic, would you be like, yes, I'm there? Okay, I'm just gonna keep it in mind. I'm manifesting. I'm putting it out there. I'm manifesting to have a retreat. Yes, we got people saying yes, they'd come to a retreat. Licensed therapists coming out in a beautiful place. They're holding space for everybody. I love this whole holding space trend that's happening on TikTok. I love when therapy words are used. A wellness retreat, yes, with panel discussion, yes, fabulous. We got a lot of yeses here, y'all. So anyway, I just want to thank you guys and thank everybody for joining us. Listen, there's no guarantee. One thing that I've learned in 2024, ain't no guarantee that you are going to be it's a privilege to be able to deal with your stuff, because there's a lot of people that's not making it to 2025. All you got to do is turn the news on. Some of us are not making it. So the fact that we all have air in our lungs, we're breathing, we're alive, it means that all of us have an opportunity to do what we can to be better. To be better, not for anybody else, but just for ourselves, because we are limitless and the possibilities are limitless. And I know that's what we do all day and tell our clients, you can do this. We're giving you the green light. This is healthy. There's a healthy force in all of us, no matter what your background is, no matter how much trauma you may have survived. You're not a victim. You are a survivor. There is a force in you that's healthy, and you have to create avenues for it to come out and express itself. We inherently know what's right and wrong, but the world sometimes tells us differently. And I really do think that we live in a very toxic, patriarchal, individualistic society. And this is the time for us to shift some of that. We can shift the energy here. And as therapists, we're doing it one by one. But hopefully today, you guys have at least gathered some hope and inspiration from us. Now, that's all I have to say. But let's go. We'll start with you, Denise. Denise, you didn't even get to answer the question. Tell me what you got to say about barriers. Let everybody know where they can find you, because Denise is doing you're down in Florida, right?
I'm in Tampa Bay, Florida, everybody.
Florida, what's up? So let everybody I remember you. Listen, we're welcoming these two ladies back, okay? They've been on here before. As we wrap up, you can answer the question about barriers. Sorry, I didn't even get back to that. Comment on whatever you want, how people can find you in Florida. Hello. And just tell us any parting thoughts for tonight.
Yes. Okay. So about barriers, exactly what Ms. Fanny said. Fear is another barrier that can cause individuals not to move forward and achieve their goals. Also, anxiety is the unknown. That's there as well. They don't know what's going to happen or what to expect or what will someone else think when I start doing this. Because many times individuals will receive the, "Oh, you think you're better than," because now you're and I'm just trying to be healthy. I'm just trying to be healthy mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually, and or financially. So everyone, please don't give up. So where to find me? That is my Instagram handle down there at the bottom. Grow, Empower, Transform Therapy. I am in Tampa Bay, Florida. I am on Instagram, TikTok, also Facebook, and others as well. And one thing I just want to promote is this past year, me and my team completed the Healing the Generation series. We started with a mother and daughter seminar, the father and son seminar, the father and daughter seminar, and we just completed the mother and son seminar. So we bring individuals together. These events are going to be free. They're free. We bring individuals. Oh, awesome, Coach E. Great. We bring individuals together so we can open up that discussion. Our first seminar we're going to have in February is for cousins and siblings. We're going to call it Welcome to the Cookout. So what happens in the house stays in the house. Let's talk about it. We're going to have some spades there. Like, we don't always like to teach people to play spades. We're going to do that. And so we're going to open up that house and just give families the tools that they need to have those conversations. Also, we're going to have a spot for the children because we know it starts when we're children, the keeping the secrets, the molestation stars, the cousins touching cousins, and the favorite children, etc. We really want to end that in the generations, and it starts with the individual, the family, and the community. So I just want to say thank you for joining us. Thank you for the questions. And I just want to end with remember to love yourself, remember to forgive yourself, and remember to be proud of yourself. And if you need me, get in touch. Thank you.
Yeah, Denise is doing some powerful work down there. You mentioned all sorts of heavy topics. Oh my goodness. Yes. Yes, we need it. We need it. Okay. Thank you so much. Okay, Fanny, on to you. What's going on
Yeah.
with you?
Yeah, so folks can find me at Her Soul Supply. I'm on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, LinkedIn. I also have a private Facebook group where I do a lot of questions and answers around breakup recovery. And I currently have a couple of offers going on. So I have my wellness retreat happening in May of 2025. It is in Oaxaca, Mexico, May 1st through the 8th. And it's going to be a retreat specifically for women of color who are in need of personal restoration. You don't necessarily have to be going through a breakup, but we will be talking about topics related to personal restoration, relationship building, self love, and just having the opportunity to explore different forms of wellness that people do in Mexico that you can't always get here. So that's the retreat. And I also have a new webinar, a digital course that you can purchase on my website. You can access that at hersoulsupply.com. It's called Single, Empowered, and Free, a way to decolonize your singlehood mindset and get back on track to a more purposeful path for your life. So yeah, you can find that at Her Soul Supply.
I don't know why, as you were talking, I was thinking about Beyonce, all the single ladies that was going through my head. You got to play that at your retreat. Okay, everybody that said yes, they would go to a retreat. You got to go see Fanny, May 1st through the 8th in Oaxaca, Mexico. Nice and hot. There's going to be down. There's going to be hot out down there. A beautiful way to just get away from your original surroundings and go to someone else. So excellent time there. So thank you guys, everybody. Let me tell you, I was taking notes. Let me tell you what we learned today. Today we learned that we have to build a community and have a buddy system and have accountability so that we can not only set our New Year's resolutions, dealing with your stuff, but you can do it as a community. Hello, you don't have to be by yourself. Give accountability. We can make a vision board. We start talking about life board. Then it got me all into my feng shui. Everything in my office has a feng shui spot. Oh, yes, it does. I create heaven on earth. Hello. And then being specific with your goals, not just having some lofty goals, being specific. I'm going to go to the gym 3 days a week. Hello, I'm going to do it at this time of the day. If you're not a morning person, don't be trying to go to the gym at 5, 6 in the morning. You're setting yourself up for failure. Go at a time that you really want to go. And I'm sorry, it's okay to go to the gym, to want to lose weight for 2025. Don't try to be perfectionist. There's no shame in making a mistake. We talked about shaming, not avoiding things. And ask people close to you, what is it? How can I be better? What is it? What are some things, some blind spots that you can look at? I think I brought that up. And give yourself permission to grow, and give yourself permission to forgive yourself for whatever mistakes you made. Because let me tell you, we are so fortunate to be alive right now. So many people aren't. So many people aren't. So many people cannot. So there's a whole lot of people that would love to switch places with us, to be in a position where we can go into 2025, period, but to go in there and try to work on ourselves. Thank you, Miss Rhonda. Look at this, Miss Rhonda. Miss Rhonda, she's a regular, so I love you. Love you, everybody. And I appreciate it. And I'll be back next Monday, but to know exactly and to get information on when I come back next Monday and Sunday when I do my book club, text the word love to 87948, and then you'll get information about how to make sure that you're here, and get your questions ready, because we'll be here to answer everybody's questions. Goodbye, Jeanette. Goodbye, Rhonda. Goodbye, everybody. Is Dr. Vibe still with us? Goodbye, Dr. Vibe. Bye, everybody.